A few minutes late. We had some technical troubles with the software, so sorry for this, but thankfully the whole event will be recorded. So from this on, if you needed to jump earlier due to the fact or was unaware that is the webinar going to help because we were a few minutes late, so you will get the webinar anyways. And thanks for the ones who were waiting on this still. Today's topic is about the online booking engine and how you can turn your website visitors into customers. And what I mean by that is that it's just not window shopping, but you can actually make transactions on the web. And for this topic, it's myself here presenting Jonas, even though it says Matti actually on the screen. The double Matti is not the case today. So my name is Jonas, CEO of Meeting Package, and then I have our marketing guru Matti here telling you guys on how you can then get better traction to your own website and get more website sessions and users who actually transact on the web. So let's start first off with a short survey on who do we have on the call today and then what kind of systems do you have in place today. So there's three simple questions. First of all, do you have a website that includes information about your meetings and event spaces? Second question being, what are the options for customers to transact on that page? So do you only have a web form, phone number, email address, speed RFP from Cvent, or an online booking engine? And lastly, if you don't have one, are you looking to implement something in the near future, or you just don't know yet the date, or that you already might have the solution? I'll keep this up for a few seconds, so just we get a little bit of a hunch who we have on the call today, and then we can take it from here then. So at the moment, we have majority of you guys have a website, first of all. Then majority of the people who have, or how the people can transact on your web is that you have a web form, email address, or a phone number. And few of you only have a speed RFP or online booking engine. So majority, nearly 70% of you guys have the web form, email address, phone number combination. And then on the last one, in the next 60 months, you're looking to implement something is roughly 30%, and then yes, but don't know when is the remaining. So it's clear that everyone in this call are looking to actually implement the online booking engine. So let's get to it, and I'll end the voting now and then close that and start my presentation shortly. Screen sharing. Perfect. So a few slides. First of all, can everyone, Matti, can you confirm that you see the slides?
Yes.
Thank you. So first of all, for everyone, a recap who Meeting Package is or what Meeting Package is. So first of all, we have three main products. So we have a distribution network, which connects to the likes of CWT and travel agencies, menu directory, marketplaces, etc. Then we have the booking engine, which we are focusing today about, on how you can digitize your M&E bookings on your own web channels. And the last one is the venue and sales management, which is an integral part because we need to have the availability pricing that we can actually sell online. And the venue and sales management platform also works on top of a PMS or sales and catering integration to allow you to sell your meeting rooms online. Looking at the problem, first of all, as everyone knows, this is how the industry works. And as you described earlier, this is how you guys are operating also because of the web form inquiry form or email or phone number. So if we concentrate today on the direct booking channel, we can see that, okay, if the web form, email address, or the phone number is on your own website, what it actually means, it goes to an email box. And as everyone knows today, during these pandemic times and difficult times we're facing today, there might not be as much salespeople working in the hotel, which means again that if you're getting emails, how quick is the reply to the customer? And the customers itself, they really want to get a speed in reply, or they want to actually get the information immediately. So what happens today is that you receive the email, the salesperson takes it from the email box, if you're using a sales and catering, you log into your sales and catering environment. You check if the space and the date is possible. Then you put the event block and the business block to your sales and catering system, pull out the offer from there, go back to your email. Some of you might have an integration with the sales and catering and your email for handling these, or some CRM to handle this, but eventually it's the same. You send the offer back to the client and then the discussions start. And when I'm talking about RFPs and inquiries on your own web, it might be a speed RFP that I'm showing you now in front of you, which means that you're asking a lot of information from the customer. You're asking a lot of details without actually giving anything back to the customer. And that's the whole opposite of an online booking engine, when you're going to be fully transparent, giving the customer the possibility of transacting online rather than holding the information to yourself. And I love to show this because this is maybe the most appealing web form I have ever seen, which again expresses the problem that we have in the industry. If you would be a customer, I know that the majority of you are suppliers, but if you would be a customer, would you really answer to these amount of questions that we have here and to send an RFP and maybe get a reply from the hotel or venue? And this is actually from a real hotel website. And it's still continuing. This is how people are asking questions and getting RFPs. The totally opposite one might be that you have an open form where the customer can then put anything, which again doesn't really give you qualified leads. And due to no automation, we have other problems and transacting. First of all, once a booking has been made and so forth, if it's not done online, everything needs to be managed offline, which means, again, human resources from the hotel's end. Second of all, future events in some cases cannot be booked if, for example, your sales staff is on furlough and so forth during the current situation, and you only have a web form. How does the client know, are you even open for business or not? And thirdly, the modifications need to be handled manually. So I'm now booking for 10 people, but actually we're coming 9 people. How do I inform you as a hotel? Do I email, call, or could I do it online? And due to this fact, a lot of revenue is lost, and not only revenue, but the bottom line, i.e. efficiencies in the hotel, is used for non-existing stuff. And where Meeting Package sits into is that we are an integration layer that enables this whole thing to talk to each other. So today, again, focusing on the online booking journey, which will be on your own website, I'm going to be demonstrating today how you can implement that, what are the best practices from an independent hotel's perspective, as well as a chain level perspective, and then what kind of payments we should take in consideration when a customer is requesting a booking. And then Matti will again jump following this on how you can drive traffic to your own web channel. And on the integrations, some of you know already, but we have multiple integrations to sales and catering. We have it for Oracle Opera, both the 5.5 or 5.4 version, as well as now coming up to the new OSEM, if you were in the call last time, as well as we have integrations to Muse and Xenium, and upcoming Protel, which might be an interesting one for the European ones on the call. So what does this all mean? Here's just an example of how Radisson Hotels has implemented the solution, but going a little bit deeper on what are the options before showing it actually you guys on how it's implemented on the web. So what are the options that you can sell online? Because going online doesn't mean that everything needs to be booked instantly. As you know, in bedroom booking side, you also have different room categories. You can have book now or pay later and so forth. Same applies to meeting rooms, but a little bit with a different twist, i.e. you can still have the request for proposal. You can have a booking request or an instant booking. The difference here is that the conversion applies differently based on which category of meeting rooms you sell. And all of these can be configured within the tool for different meeting rooms. So you can show 10 meeting rooms, which 3 are instantly bookable, 2 are booking request, and the rest are inquiry-based. And just comparing the options, the last slide before going to how independent hotels have implemented it. So what are the benefits of having an online booking engine? versus RFP. First of all, you can actually show the customer the availability, the pricing, etc. The conversion is killing it. So looking at it from in RFP perspective, typically your conversion is less than 15%. Now on an online booking, it's actually 100% if you're talking about instant booking, but then you might have cancellations. So that's why we say above 90%. Pricing can be dynamic and fully transparent, as where RFP-wise, you're on a request base. And the biggest thing what I'm always saying is that you're available 24/7 rather than limited to business hours. Perfect. So then let's get to how you can implement it for an independent hotel and what are the options here. So currently you see one of our hotels, I'm not actually sure, is it in Basel? And here's one option, how they have implemented it as a best practice wise. So as you can see on the top one, if I close this one, they have all the 3 call to actions visible on their website automatically. Reserve a table, book a room, or book a meeting. And this book a meeting is actually powered by Meeting Package. So what you see now is a booking engine snippet provided by Meeting Package that is implemented on the hotel's own website, allowing the customers to transact online. Instead of the RFP forms that we showed earlier, this is one possibility. Looking at another possibility, this is an Potta Events, which is actually in Finland. And you can see here they have a full booking engine where they have not done any custom development themselves. So they haven't modified the look and feel at all, which comes automatically through our technology itself. So here you have already the date, time, meeting length, delegates, and you can make a transaction. Also, they have done it so that on the get a quotation, if I click on this, the same booking engine applies on that page, and you can see it automatically here. So the biggest problem we see independent hotels when they try to implement a booking engine is that they're hiding it. So these solutions that I'm showing you now, you can see it's automatically on the first view when you look at the page. If you look at a heat map perspective, let's see if this opens. You can see here how the customers are behaving. This is just an example of our heat map of our one of our landing pages. But you can see that people don't scroll down too much on the actual web. So over in the blue area, this is the latest where you should have the booking engine visible. And the better it is, it's on the red area. And again, going back to Silo, they have the CTA directly on the top. Everyone can see that. If they would have the booking engine here below the map, for example, the conversion would be totally different than they have today. Same applies to this. Potta, as we saw, the front page that you go, bam, it's on their landing page directly. First thing you can see. Make a booking, see the availability, book meeting rooms online. So don't put it below, hide it. The more places you have it under CTAs, which is one thing. So you don't need to always have that snippet. You can also have just call to action buttons, like the get a quotation, which could say book meeting room now. A little bit like Silo has here, book meeting. This is a call to action button right away, rather than hiding the snippet on your own website. One example would be also from Elite World Hotels in Istanbul. They have implemented it here. Okay, this is automatically when you click on the meetings and events, the first thing you see on that page, a little bit not as visible as the other ones which were presented, but still visible with one click. So if you have a meetings and events page, don't start hiding it under the information, put it directly visible on that page itself. And how can this all be done for independent hotels? So if I go to my booking engine here, so I'm now logged in as a supplier in the Meeting Package product. I, as a supplier, I can create the booking engine myself. So you just select the logo, the property you're selecting, what are the websites you have, site names, do you want it to be horizontal or vertical, first name, last name, email, terms of use, what are the colors on the booking engine page, what are the colors on the snippet page, and this is how easily you can just change it. So if I would like to have a pink button, this is how it applies. Once I save this, the only thing you need to do is copy this information, give it to your marketeer or your company who's handling a website, and they just implement this and it automatically comes visible as it's stored within the environment. And as I can demonstrate to you guys now, for example, is that I have my test hotel here. So this is how it looks, the venue page, when you go to after the snippet. I have all the three options here. So I have the book now option, send request, or inquiry option. And now you can see the header is white all the way through. If I go back here and I change my header color, let's say that today is red day. So we save my booking engine. Let's see if there was errors. And I refresh my page. You can see the color changes immediately. Of course, now the logo doesn't match because it's not transparent, but anyways, you get the idea. So you can modify the look and feel for an independent, and what we're demonstrating now is for independent hotels. For hotel chains, there's more custom development that we can do to make it look your brand look and feel. But for independent hotels or venues, this is a streamlined approach, full self-service model. You can even register online and take the solution into use. And then there's a trial period, so you can even look at it and try it out yourself. And if it works, then you should continue in using it after that period. And not only the booking engine itself, but you can see here that the emails are also branded. So you're receiving it from the hotel, you see the branded logo. This would be all branded, but as you saw earlier, I had a white background and a white logo. The whole email is white itself here, but it will be fully branded based on the information you were inputting to the settings on the booking engine side. And if you're handling multiple properties, you can still create a multi-booking engine also. So when you create a booking engine, you can select if you want to have a multiple one or a single one. And in the multiple one, you have a selection of properties included. Perfect. By the way, there's the chat possibility. If you have any questions during this period, feel free to use the chat option. We will have a Q&A session in the end, but we have Matti here replying, and once Matti takes the floor, I can reply to the questions during that period of time. Perfect. And all of the information that you saw just a moment ago, they are handled. So the pricing, what the images are, everything is handled in Meeting Package, and you can access that yourself. So all of that information can be done here, but today we're not going to go through the settings itself, but just giving you an understanding that here you can manage the pricing, the seasonal pricing, minimum, maximum number of people, what you want to sell online, what you don't want to sell online. Next, we will look at chain level implementation. So for example, now we're looking at Nordic Choice Hotels. If I click on the conferences and meetings, I am on their own website all the time. Now, if I go to Stockholm on their own web, let's say 10 people, you can see automatically on the next page that the results which are there, you can book them directly. So they are not hiding that information into a single venue page, because as a customer, your journey is going from meetings and events, and then you want to already transact. You don't go looking at individual hotels if you're a hotel chain. You go from the main level, searching, booking, and that's it. Not so that you go search city, search venue, if they have a booking engine. It needs to be displayed automatically upfront. And On that page, you can see the Book Directly Here button. This is going directly to the solution we provide. So if I select Book Directly as the Clarion Hotel sign, you can automatically see that it goes to the booking engine, which gives them the possibility of making the transaction online. And you can see here, this whole solution looks a little bit different than to the independent hotels. They have, for example, enabled the safe meetings policy, which is a setting in meeting package. So the setting can be done here that allows you to configure and tell the customers how you are reacting to the pandemic and how your safe meetings policy is. So you can have a custom safe message a different percentage of your room capacity for allowing social distancing. Going back to the Nordic Choice, you can also have a discount code, corporate code in that selection, but otherwise it looks more or less the same as the independent hotel solution as we described earlier. A little more custom on regards to branding, colors, look and feel, etc. Here you have the book online possibility, and you can see automatically they're using discounts here. So there's 50% savings on C5 if I book it now on December 8, 9 o'clock, 8 people, 10 people. And I can see the images, I can see the 360s. So for example, I can automatically as a customer see what kind of room is this. I can call in the room, and the 360s can be embedded into the meeting package software again. You see all the details. All of the things that you would request from an RFP are already visible for the customer. Availability, price, equipment, how does it look? Can I fit there? What is the seating orders available? Now if I go and book this one, we can go to the next topic because I know that Matti has a lot to say today. I'm giving him some space and saving time from my presentation. You can see what the hotel chain has allowed now. First of all, they're requesting the details of the customer, and these information are always going directly to the hotel. Food and beverages, you can add your food and beverage items. Let's say I would like to have conference lunch. At what time? I can automatically select that as a customer. You can have a unlimited amount of food and beverage items, which you can again configure in the catalog of meeting package. So if you go to the catalog, you can configure as many food and beverage items, menu items, miscellaneous services as you want, and you can decide which ones you want to sell online. Special diet requirements, additional information. Do we need accommodation? So all of these information can be already requested from the customer. As you can see, the last one is then select the payment method. And here we can do the similar things as we do with bedrooms, i.e. pay online and get a discount. Of course, that's cash flow upfront for the hotels, which is never bad in these current circumstances, or then at the hotel. And the at the hotel option is always good to have because that increases your conversion. If you only have credit card, there are certain clients at the moment still because online booking of meeting rooms is not yet a day-to-day thing. Not everyone is used to do that. And people might be skeptical in paying 1,000 euros with a credit card, or it's not even possible. Therefore, pay at the hotel option should always be visible in your solution to allow better conversion of that transaction. Then you can build business rules on top, meaning do you give discounts for pay on site, credit card bookings, or is there some kind of different terms if you pay at the hotel instead of credit card? And remaining piece, asking to opt in for any marketing consent as per the GDPR, and then accepting the terms of cancellation of that booking itself. So as you can see, the whole process is digital, online, and it doesn't stop there. So once you make the transaction, all of that can be handled within your order management system. So if I make a booking here, let's go and make a booking in my test hotel. I'm gonna book this $2 whole room. All the information is already coming automatically because I'm logged in. I would like to have lunch, let's say apparently my lunch is limited to certain times. Let's say I would have lunch at 11 o'clock. And all of these you can already configure in your hotel. So when is the lunch available? Does it include, etc. And now I'm making a transaction to my Dest hotel. As you can see here, we don't even have payment gateway, so we don't have a credit card option in this model. And I read the terms of cancellation, etc., and I click on book. What happens now is that hotel, if there's an integration to the sales and catering, it will receive the booking directly. If there is no integration, it will be received by email, and it will fill up the function diary of meeting package for that certain hotel, which means that your availability will be fed eventually up to date if you use meeting package as a sole interface. And once I view that order, when I go to view that booking, I can still manage it as a customer. As you can see now, we have the good-looking red branding everywhere. So I can still manage my booking as a customer. I can communicate to the hotel. I can leave messages to the hotel. I can attach files. I can change my number of attendees depending on the room capacities. And I can see everything what I have at the event. I can change the on-site contact, the event name, reason for my event, whatever it is, seminar, birthday, etc. And why we are allowing these questions only to be asked after the transaction is the less information you ask when you make a booking, the better the conversion is. So if you looked at the web form that I showed you earlier, it had like 70 questions. Who will actually fill that information? So it's better that you ask the information that you want to receive, which are not critical for the booking, only after the transaction. Perfect. And here's just an information, for example, the branded hotel. With Nordic Choice Hotels, you can see that everything is branded to the Nordic Choice Hotels in this case. So that's what Meeting Package offers, the end-to-end customer journey, fully branded, including automated emails, order management, and everything can be for independent hotels as a self-service model. So please register and do it yourself. Or for chain hotels, we can do the whole customization branding that will fit to your whole brand look and feel, as we've shown you the Nordic Choice solution. If the customer wants to use invoicing, it is a button also for that. Yes, so you can select, we can enable 3 solutions. So how it's presented in the checkout page can be defined. So if there's credit card, pay on site, or pay by invoice. Unfortunately, we don't yet have an invoice system in the meeting package at the moment, which means that you cannot generate invoices through meeting package, but most probably you have your own accounting software to do that. So answering that question. Matti, I will give you now the possibility of taking the floor. So
okay, sure, thanks. This is actually my first webinar, so fingers crossed that I don't mess it up.
Actually, it wasn't your fault that we were late. I had
I just purchased this tool, so I better know how to use it. Can everyone see?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. Okay.
So, of course, in marketing, let's just straight jump into the deep end of the pool, so to speak. So sure, you should send emails and social media and put it into your auto signature, and also as Jonas showed initially, that the placement of the widget and the links to the booking engine should be in clear and visible place for the customers. So everything basically coins around analytics. Yes, I understand that everybody hates maths and analytics, but still that's the thing that actually makes the difference. So to get competitive advantage, and you can increase your profits and save on marketing costs. So basically that already is 3 good examples why you should focus on that. What it actually means is that sure, you already have, every venue has data, but to turn it to information, you basically need analytics and reporting. And there you actually go to knowledge. So you kind of start learning from the data that, okay, this is actually what's happening at the moment. And Then you can turn it to wisdom and forecasting. Maybe the point here is that it's a long journey, but in order to actually start climbing up the ladder and actually making the difference, you still need the analytics for it. That's like the bottom line. And of course, one could say that, yeah, we have nice reporting and I can see PDFs and Excels, but you can't actually utilize that information. Oh, you can, but you need to do it manually. The key here is that once you have the booking engine, all data relating to that meeting and event sales is in one place. It's in the meeting package platform. Whether you integrate it to an outside third-party service, that's fine. But as long as the data lives in meeting package, you can start utilizing the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Ads, different display networks, and their artificial intelligence platforms. In the traditional reporting style, you can't really do it. But with, for example, I'm going to show it to you, but in Google Ads, you can basically then utilize Google AI to optimize your ads and try to find you just the right kind of customers, and without you doing anything after that. So basically here we can see from left to right the whole path in what I've tried to illustrate. So there's your website, so customer clicks an ad or comes through an email or whatever route to your website, goes to booking engine, and maybe buggers off at half time or like after a few times, comes after a week to your website again, makes the transaction or inquiry, it can be anything of those. So then it goes to checkout thank you page. Depending if it's a instant booking, it might go straight to confirmed, which is fine, but we can also utilize the inquiry part as well. So it goes to supplier should confirm. It was the order management page that Jonas just recently showed. So that's called supplier should confirm. Basically, they're asking that, is there availability and what is the price? Or if they know the price, they want to ask something else. So you as a venue click yes, welcome, and so on. And customer gets a notification, and customer needs to make a decision at a certain date that you basically enabled. And so the steps go from left to right in this. And with analytics, and we can basically utilize or enable your marketing team to actually make efficient marketing for your venue in regards of meetings and events. So basically, why would I use AdWords and analytics? First of all, you can measure your return on advertising spend. And I'm sorry for the marketing jargon here. It's hard to avoid it in this industry. Basically, return on advertising spend is that you're telling Google, as an example, you're telling Google that, hey, I want to find high-yielding customers that pay a lot to me. So my profit would be good. And Google AI does exactly that after that. Currently, if the data is not in the same place and you're not using the analytics, you can't really do it. It's very hard and cumbersome, and you need to do a lot of manual steps, which in reality, you just don't have time or you're not fast enough for the digital age on that. And customers Google when they have need, and there's no recognized brands yet. So there's no booking.com or TripAdvisor for meetings and events. So we've noticed that people Google a lot. There's lower demand and competition still, and it's going to be probably changing in the future, but now would be the good time to actually utilize tools that are not utilized by your competitors that much. And meetings and events, even though they're kind of the secondary line of most venues and accommodation is the main one, but the net profits are way higher and the margins are usually better than M&T. The problem is how you can actually sell it efficiently. And also, Google Ads is more important than before because Google is tweaking their algorithm and their user experience to try to bring as much information in the Google results page than they did before, which means that the natural listing or the organic results, as Google says it, is actually visually diminishing. So there's more emphasis on the ads. So if you can bid for the first position, like here in the meeting rooms in Manchester, as an example, you basically get more visibility, and click-through rates are increasing, which of course brings more money to Google Ads. Here's an example, or kind of a, I know it's a bit of a simplifying, but still makes the point. So the as an example, average price for hotel room would be 150 euros. And the profit margin is probably not even 20% if you take all the costs away. But for meeting rooms, it's usually higher because, I mean, it's basically a cost that you already implemented because you have meeting rooms in a good location, but they're empty, so you need to utilize them as much as possible. But when you get their customers there, the booking amount is usually higher, or the value of the booking, and therefore the profits are usually better. And also the cost per click. So actually, in reality, the meeting room, whatever city, so let's say meeting room London, the cost per click is almost 6 to 10 times higher than meeting rooms, hotel rooms in London. But the search volume is 10 times lower. And that actually is your benefit, because there's margin for error for you, and there's a learning curve that is softer for you as a marketer, which means that when you have the booking engine, you can get the conversion level and confirmation percentage of the bookings higher, almost to the same level or at the same level as hotel rooms. So you don't have any more the bottleneck of sales in the M&E. So it's easier to sell and easier for customers to book, which means that when you get even one booking, because the average price is higher, you can basically then utilize more media budget to get more customers like that to your platform. Here's an example. So let's say that the Google Ads for meeting rooms Copenhagen would cost 6 euros, as it did before COVID, on average. And you have, people are clicking it, let's say that 5 or 6 times, and then one makes a booking. So the cost per acquisition, so CPA, is 22 euros at this point. And in this example, let's say that 25% of the bookings at the end got cancelled for a reason or another. But the average booking value would be 2,200 euros. So basically, your profit average would be 644 euros in this example, which you could basically then put some media budget back to advertising, get more business like that. And naturally, you're not gonna, use all of the 600 euros to media budget, but some of it. Here's an example from studies that click-through rate for first position in Google Ads on average last year was 7%. So let's say that there's Hotel Helsinki and Meeting Room Helsinki in this example. As you can see, Hotel Helsinki has been searched 33 times on average on monthly, and Meeting Rooms only 1,300 times. And click-through rate in hospitality Google Ads is usually a 5% roughly. So with these numbers, we can already basically get to an exercise that we can see that if your cost per click would be for hotel rooms 2.50 euros, for meeting rooms it could be 8.57 euros. But at the end of the day, because the search volume is lower and you increased your capacity for conversion, so you enable easy booking for customers, your profits are way higher because your margins and the search volume, margins are better and search volume is less than for hotel rooms, which makes, for marketers, that's a good news because then you can actually have room to maneuver and find different routes to get more customers and business. With holder rooms, if you make one mistake, you're gonna pay a lot at the end because the search volume is so high. And here's some few examples from advertising. So let's say that customer searches meeting rooms in Helsinki. They see myhotel.com has meeting rooms, so they click the ad. They come to your website, they go away, they come back again the day after or something, makes a booking or inquiry in this case. So in the second phase, where you can see the orange balloon with second, you can basically target with automated emails, for example, or display advertising that, hey, are you ready to make your booking? Or do you actually need, if you have enough audience size, for example, in cases for Nordic Choice as an example, or if you just have a lot of business from a long time, so let's say the time interval would be 1 year, you could basically then target them that, hey, I can notice that these made inquiry, but they didn't book any food and beverage services from me. So you could basically show them targeted display ads that, hey, you have a meeting coming up. Do you want to buy food and beverage? And of course, when the actual event date is held and basically you send the invoice or basically they paid at the venue, you can then utilize that information to serve them another discount for their second meeting, which would, of course, then your customer retention would hopefully go up if they can book again and even third time. And after the third time, it's statistically shown that customers are more skewed towards coming back again and again to your venue if they like it.
And just to add to Matti's point regarding these kind of discount rates and so on, so in meeting package you have the possibility of adding corporate rates or discount rates that can be worked as a code function. So technically you could create a code for the display advertisement that Matti said that, okay, for anyone who comes to the site but doesn't make a transaction, we promote the display, and in the display we promote a corporate code which gives them a discount of 20% or whatever. So that's something you can use also on top.
Exactly. And again, the same bullet points that were in the previous slide are here explained, that let Google artificial intelligence optimize your advertising. So you don't need to try to find the best keywords or best places to show the ad. Let Google AI do it, or Facebook AI. And that's totally feasible when you have the booking engine in usage. Also to upsell to your customers that haven't yet made the booking, but they made an inquiry or they made a booking request, but not confirmed. And of course, all the customers that have made their first booking, but not their third booking, for example, or their second booking. So you can make an audience list and use that in Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, your email campaigns, whatever you want, or whatever marketing communication channels you use. And again, what we actually use here is that technically we use this thing called measurement protocol. So measurement protocol push. It's a Google Analytics URL. It's a string of URL that we push to your Google Analytics, which then means that you have the data there, and you can get all of the different booking types, the delegate amounts, what they actually booked, what was the, I think even VAT is there for different services. So there's almost all the information about the booking that we can push to your analytics. And if you want to hear more or see it in action, there's going to be a webinar coming in where I'm going to show how it works in Google Ads and analytics in a booking engine. But meanwhile, please feel free to contact me if you want to hear more details on how to utilize marketing effectively for M&T. Thanks. So if there's Q&A.
Perfect. I was speaking typical mistakes. I need to get the on-site meetings back. I'm already talking to myself here as muted and without the camera. Perfect. So if you have any Q&A questions now, feel free to drop them to the right hand. There's the Q&A box for yourself, the bottom right corner, and then we will reply to these questions and wait for, let's say, 5 minutes or so to go them through now. And then anyways, after this webinar, you will get a recap and the recording of this. If you didn't see the whole presentation, you can review it through the link that you will receive after this webinar. Also, we will send our contact details to you. So if you have any questions, set up a meeting with us. We're happy to help during this process. And for all independent hotels here, we will share you a link where you can register free of charge. There will be a trial period available, so you can implement the booking engine, do everything yourself without any fees involved. And if it works out, then the fees are stated in when you go through the registration process. Any questions? Seems quiet.
Someone is typing.
Well, I'll ask Matti, what do you consider yourself as the biggest, like you've been working in a hotel chains before and worked in travel industry for a long time. What do you see are the biggest hurdles when it comes to, let's say, hotels and their marketing regarding meetings and events?
It was the lack of possibility to measure the actual impact of the marketing. So was it Ford who said that I'm wasting half of my marketing money, but I don't know which half. So basically, that wasn't the case with accommodation, but that was the case for meetings and events. And for example, in Camp Collection hotels, where I worked before joining Meeting Package, we had 10 luxury hotels in Helsinki city center. And roughly 25% or something like that was the M&T share of the total revenue, or 20%. But the problem was that we couldn't fill up the meeting rooms quick enough. It was always the inquiry based. And as a personal assistant in a big conglomerate in Helsinki city center, you're organizing a 10 people meeting in Helsinki city center, and you just take the first one that replies the fastest. As a personal assistant, you don't matter if you send the inquiry to 5 or 10 different venues. You take the first one that is the quickest to reply. So that was already, hurdled back in 6-7 years ago, and it still is for the most of the venues. So it's basically the conversion. If you can push it up and digitalize the sales as you have in accommodation, you're basically on a blue ocean of different marketing tactics and sales tactics.
And I think the biggest thing also to kind of highlight on that fact is that since it's not yet a thing that everyone has, you will have the possibility of kind of being the first mover in your geographical areas or cities. And we've seen that being successful with our clients around the world, that once they do that, the recurring customer aspect is actually increasing because of the easiness and the simplicity and the kind of efficiency that customers get, but also the hotels. So the reality is, like, it's not only the top line that we're talking about, but it's the bottom line also, in that sense that yes, we can make more revenue when we can push this through digital channels, but what about the bottom line? Can we increase some kind of efficiencies in our operations? Can we focus on the guest experience when they come on site more, rather than sending RFPs and offers out to clients for booking meeting rooms of 5 people or 6 people? And what we see as a trend at the moment, meetings are not dead, even though there's lockdowns and so forth. There's still meetings happening through our customer environments. But what we see, of course, is that the meeting and events have been, the size of the meetings and events are smaller, which again means that you should not spend any manual hours to serve those kind of 4 people bookings where the average value might be 500 euros or 400 euros, because the 1 hour you use, the margin drops automatically, which Matti stated earlier.
Yeah, and from like a revenue perspective, you can utilize same pricing tactics like early bird offers and so on that you use for your accommodation. So, stricter rules, but lower cost. And customers do understand those already. So if you want to book a €150 meeting room, you can put cancellation policy to very strict. But you alleviate your risk, but basically you get some revenue in already.
Yeah, I think a good example was the Nordic Choice campaign, which is publicly available, or the kind of feedback of the campaign. We thought initially that, or my assumption would be that you cannot sell meetings the same way, but it was proven to be wrong. So what Nordic Choice did for a campaign was they selected one date and a few days that you can book it, and giving meeting rooms for free, but then of course charge for food and beverage and bedrooms, which was a tactic to fill their house and to kind of give awareness to their customers that, hey, we have this kind of solution, try it.
Yeah. And yeah, for me, it was kind of like interesting to see that even though they offered the free meeting room, they could still generate revenue through the F&B, because people that are booking meeting rooms, most of them are not professional meeting bookers. I mean, there are those as well, but most of them are not. So you book a full day meeting room, and at some point you figure out that maybe we need to eat something also. So but thanks for joining. If there's no answers, we'll get back to you. You can book a meeting with us from the top button, and hope you enjoy your rest of your day, and stay safe, everyone. Bye bye.